You're listening to the English Football Podcast. The Premier League is back and the games are coming thick and fast. Haaland starts like he was never away, trouble for Moyes and Lampard, and a good round for the European challengers. Hello and welcome to the English Football Podcast. I'm Callum Hewitt and we're here to talk about the Premier League games on Boxing Day, Tuesday the 27th and Wednesday the 28th. There were some EFL Cup games before the Premier League started after a month's break. 11 Premier League teams played in that round. We had to look at a few of those, but let's remind ourselves about what happened this season in the Premier League before all that drama in Qatar.
The Arsenal game, just waiting for the right opening to try and present itself. White, will it be now? It is! It's a stunner from Thomas Partey. A goal from the Arsenal midfielder that makes it party time at the Emirates.
Erling Haaland for Manchester City. Scores! Just about gets past Bert Leno. The shirt is off.
It's in again! It's 9 now! And the records are getting smashed left, right and centre. It's Luis Diaz and Jurgen Klopp can't believe what he's seeing. Liverpool have now equalled the record Premier League win of all time.
We saw there Haaland's 18th goal of the season against Fulham in the 95th minute. He's the top goal scorer by a mile with 18 goals, although behind him are some interesting names with Tony, Rodrigo, Alexander Mitrovic and Miguel Almiron. We know Mitrovic scored 43 goals in 44 games in the Championship last season, and Almiron was looking like one of the best players in the first half of the season with 8 goals, 2 outside the box, and he scores worldies for fun now. Maybe if Grealish was playing like him, he might get into the City starting 11. Can Almiron keep his form in the second half of the season? That'll be interesting to see. And whether Haaland can carry on his scoring form. Last season's Golden Boot winner Son Heung-min has only scored 3 goals this season. Surprisingly, they were all in the same game against Leicester City in September. That gave Leicester the record of most goals conceded in the first 7 games, conceding 22 goals, 6 of them in London against Spurs. They then produced 5 clean sheets in 7 games to West Ham, Everton, Leeds, Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace. Arsenal have only lost 5 points this season, with the 3-1 loss to Man U and the surprising 1-1 draw at Southampton. Chelsea's last 5 results aren't looking good, with 4 losses and 1 draw. They've only managed to score 2 goals. Their last results were Chelsea 1, Man U 1, a 2-0 loss at Man City, a 4-1 loss at Brighton, and 1-0 losses to Arsenal and Newcastle. It's not looking good for Potter, although they are looking good in the Champions League. Chelsea have been drawn against Dortmund on the 15th of February. Quite a long time to wait, but we'll be looking forward to it. There were 5 managers sacked. That's a quarter of the Premier League clubs booting out the boss. That's Tuchel, Hasenhüttl, Lars, Gerrard and Parker. So Aston Villa bring in Unai Emery. Can he move Villa into European challengers? I don't think so. Can Potter get Chelsea back into the top 4? Can the other managers get their teams out of the relegation zone? And it'll be interesting to see who goes next. There's a lot of talk about David Moyes getting booted out of West Ham. Some West Ham fans wanting him to go, some don't. I'm sort of in the middle about that. And Newcastle have only lost 1 game this season with the 2-1 loss to Liverpool with Carvalho's 98th minute winner. Let's start with the league leaders. Arsenal went 7 points clear at the top of the table after their 3-1 victory over West Ham. Lots of talk about how Nketiah will do with Jesus being injured. I thought he had quite a good game. He capped it off with that goal as well. It's good. Arsenal showed that they can come back into the game from 1-0 down. That was in the first half when Saliba fouled Bowen inside the box. Said Benrahma converted the penalty by placing it down the middle. And so a full house at the Emirates sees Arsenal go 7 points clear at the Premier League, top of the table. That was on Boxing Day. They're now 5 points clear with Man City winning against Leeds. It's not looking good for the Hammers. 1 point off the relegation zone and 4 straight defeats. And a tough game against Brentford on the 30th. Meanwhile, Arsenal travel to Brighton on New Year's Eve at the Amex. Arsenal up the tempo in the second half, seeing the man of the match Odegaard getting 2 assists and Martinelli getting his 6th goal of the season after a goalkeeping error from Fabianski. Mikel Arteta with his Amazon Prime video after the game.
Hi, Mikel Arteta, congratulations.
Thank you.
That was an impressive second half comeback.
Yeah, I think we showed a lot of composure and quality. I think we didn't started to play the game that they wanted to play, even though at 1-0 probably wasn't the result that we were expecting. But we kept pushing, believing, and I think we deserved to win.
I think West Ham were too slow in the second half. They gave the ball away too much and they couldn't keep the ball. With possession, Arsenal had 66% and West Ham had 34%. I'm a West Ham fan and I've been enjoying watching Declan Rice play. I think this will be his last season though with us. He does not deserve to be at a team 1 point out of the relegation zone. He should be at a top club. He was with Amazon Prime Video after the match for an interview.
Dec, was 3-1 harsh or was it about right?
You know, it's a tough one because, you know, first half, even though we didn't have much of the ball, we defended really well, stopped them really well, had a plan, obviously went 1-0 up, but, you know, you can't sustain that for 90 minutes, especially against a team like Arsenal. It's the same when you play a team like Man City. You know, in the end, one of their chances will create to something, and, you know, they're free-flowing football. They managed to get through, and I think the tables turned when that first one, you know, we caught him onside, and he's rolled it in, and obviously then your backs are against the wall. But it's down to us to keep going, to keep pushing, and we tried to do that. But like I said, we couldn't just get up the pitch. You know, they smothered us all over the pitch.
Or Arsenal, you said you equated them to Manchester City there in terms of how much they are good with the ball. You see an Arsenal genuine title potential winners, do you?
100%, 100%. I think, you know, they're a top team. You can see they're coached incredibly well. You know, they have a lot of attacking talent, young squad. You know, they could go the whole way for sure. You know, they're a good team, but like I said, first half we tried as hard as we could to stop them, and you know it's really hard. But in the end, you know, we come up short, and it's frustrating.
It's now 20 goals for Erling Haaland. It was quite easy for City. Rodri scored their first goal right before half-time, and 2 goals from Haaland, both assisted by Jack Grealish, gave City a 3-0 advantage. It wasn't all over yet though, however. A goal from Struck after a corner saw Leeds have some hope, but they couldn't trouble City anymore. Full-time result, Leeds United 1, Man City 3. Haaland was interviewed after the game with Prime Video.
You two know each other well?
Have you got a figure in your head? 20 already? You said to me early in the season that no, you must have. You've got 20. How many are you looking at?
I got, but I cannot say you. You know this.
Does it start with a 4?
What?
Does it start with a 4?
No comment.
Are you thinking about the ones you missed tonight also? Because
Yeah.
you did miss a couple. I mean, you got that killer instinct. You must do.
No, I just said it inside. I could have scored 5. It's the truth. But we win. That's the most important thing. You see Arsenal at the top now. We have to hunt them. So that we win, I'm really happy. But me as a striker, I could have scored a couple more. But that's life. What can I do? I have to practice more.
What were you doing in your time off?
Being home, being a bit mad that I don't play World Cup home at my sofa.
How does that look like? What does it look like when you're a bit frustrated?
kind of a commentator for the World Cup in my own home when no one listens to me.
I'm sure plenty of people would have loved you to have picked up a mic during the World Cup. And so the frustration that you had there and the time that you had of, I'm sure you enjoyed a little bit of downtime. When you come back into training, does that make you hungrier than ever?
Yeah, I kind of recharge my batteries, and to watch other people score, to win games in the World Cup, kind of triggers me, kind of motivates me, and irritates me, as I just said. So I'm more hungry and I'm more ready than ever.
Leeds stay 2 points clear of the drop, and City are 5 points behind Arsenal. Haaland has now got 20 goals, and we've not even been halfway through the season. He just bullies defenders, you know, no one can stop him really. He loves the ball. The ball's through the two centre-backs to him, where he uses his pace to get on the end of them and score a goal. City play Everton next. That's a must-win for the Toffees. And Leeds travel not too far to play Newcastle. It was a superb result for Newcastle at the King Power. They went second in the league on Boxing Day. The hosts, however, with a chance to go into the top half, never seemed to trouble Newcastle. It only took 2 minutes for Amati to bring down Joelinton and for Newcastle to get the first goal. I think Newcastle were very aggressive from the start. They pressed brilliantly and came back from the break brilliantly. Leicester tried to get back into the game. They tried to change a few things around, but Newcastle could deal with everything. Eddie Howe has really helped them. I think they're full of confidence now, and they could finish in the top 4. Chris Wood and Bruno Guimaraes were with Amazon Prime Video after the game.
Bruno, congratulations. You're up to second in the league. How much did you enjoy that match?
A lot. I think it was a big game for us. We played very well. We put in head to do the first 10 minutes too hard, and we got it. I'm so happy. It's a gift for the fans. They always made the difference for us as well.
The fans were singing, Chris Wood, you're going to win the league. Are you going to win the league?
It's way too early to even think about that, but they can go on and dream. They're enjoying it, and we just want to put on a show for them and show what we can do. So it's a great start.
You certainly did that inside the 3rd minute. When you stepped up to take that penalty, what was going through your head?
Look, yeah, it's a good opportunity for a good start, and thankfully it went in the back of the net, which is nice. But it's down to the team pressing hard, working hard, and coming out of the traps really quickly, and it showed. And the first 10 minutes is what we're about. We want to keep that going.
One of those players pressing hard and playing hard was Miguel Almiron, and that second goal, Bruno, was absolutely astounding.
Yeah, we train a lot. This, me and Miggy, was a big combination. I think Miggy and the group deserve a lot what is happening in our life. We are really living our dreams, and I'm so happy for the boys, of myself, for the gaffer as well. We are doing very well.
Bruno mentioned the gaffer there, Chris. He seems to have brought this team together. There seems to be something really different about this Newcastle side this season. What is it?
He's revitalised it. I think it was a big thing when he came in. He needed to change the character in the dressing room, the camaraderie we have, and he's brought in some fantastic players and brought it through in the team. He's done a fantastic job, and hopefully we can keep it going for him, and he can bring more out to us.
Leicester travel to Liverpool next for Rodgers to play his former club, and Newcastle host Leeds. At Villa Park, it's 3 goals and 3 wins in a row for Liverpool. Alexander-Arnold found his fellow fullback to put it on a plate for Mohamed Salah, who got the assist for their second as Virgil van Dijk volleyed it into the back of the net. Watkins got Villa back into the game with his exquisite cross from Douglas Luiz, before substitute Stefan Bajcetic sealed 3 points with his first senior goal. Watkins could have got a hat-trick this game. He had so many opportunities to do so. Same with Darwin Núñez. He could have got a goal, but his decision-making was poor in the end. Final result was Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 3. Liverpool host Leicester City next, while Villa travel to London to face Tottenham Hotspur. At Old Trafford, Rashford shone again with a goal and an assist in their 3-0 win over Nottingham Forest. Ten Hag is really seeming to turn things around for them. They go 5th in the league, one point behind Spurs, and with a game in hand, could certainly go 4th. Ten Hag has had a lot of faith in Rashford and has really helped him. He could go on to become one of the leading goal scorers in Europe, and it will be a lot easier with Ten Hag. Forest have only got 13 points and spent £141 million in the summer, with a net spend of £135 million. They are 4th in the rankings of money spent, and they are 19th in the Premier League. Same thing with West Ham. They spent the 3rd most money out of the Premier League clubs in the summer, spending £163 million, and they are 1 point off relegation. Next, the Red Devils travel to Wolves and Forest host Chelsea. Drama in Brentford as Tottenham Hotspur come back from 2-0 down to save a point. An early goal from Janelt, a goal from Ivan Toney, saw the Bees go 2-0 up. After a slow first half, however, Spurs get back into the game with a header from Harry Kane. 5 minutes later, Højbjerg calmly puts the ball into the back of the net for Tottenham to equalise. Spurs stay 4th and Brentford are 2 points behind Fulham in 9th. It was a very entertaining game, the same thing still for Tottenham, conceding first in their 9th consecutive game and being second best for the first hour. Brentford played terrifically though, good pressing, created a good lot of chances, but it was a good response from Spurs in the last half hour, with Kane coming back from the break with a goal. Antonio Conte was with Amazon Prime Video post-match.
Conte is just coming in. Antonio, welcome. Good to see you. Well, hugs all around. A very happy Christmas. Nice to see you. How do you reflect on today? I mean, you were 2-0 down, you get it back to 2-2. Should you have left here with all 3 points? Do you feel just a tad frustrated or relieved?
But at the end, I think for the people was an exciting game.
It definitely was exciting,
definitely.
Yeah.
And I think understanding also in England that this is the first place, and to have an exciting game and to score more goals, then for sure I'd like to have my team to be more stable. And because from the start of the season, many times it happened that we are down, and then we had the strength to come back, but you know, this league is very, very difficult. And today the game, we know the difficulty, because Brentford is a physical team. They play, if you go to press, they play long ball and they go very, very strong on the second ball. Set pieces are always very, very good. And yeah, at the end, yeah, the commitment was good. But if you ask me, I decide to try to get 3 points in a way. It's not easy. It's not easy against Brentford.
Spurs next play Aston Villa at home, and Brentford travel to West Ham. Everton failed to hang on at Goodison Park after a 95th minute strike from Ryan Aït-Nouri, which sees Wolves go into 18th, just 1 point from safety. It was such a big game for them, as they both have very tough fixtures on New Year's Eve. Everton have the chance to go 14th and to be 4 points clear of relegation, but Julian Lopetegui's side edged closer to climbing out of the drop. Not looking good for Frank Lampard. We know how the fans felt in the last game against Bournemouth. Alex Iwobi having his shirt thrown back at him when Pickford was trying to stop confrontations with the fans. Everton created a good few chances but couldn't convert in front of goal. They could have won the game if they did, but Wolves were well organised and stayed strong. Lopetegui said to not get too high but also not to get too low. He forgot he said that when the second goal went in. He was going crazy on the touchline, and then he remembered he had to shake hands with Lampard and calm down. Lampard was with Amazon Prime Video after the game.
Frank, a tough one to take after conceding in the 95th minute. What went wrong from your perspective?
Well, conceding. We're the better team, had the better chances. And when you don't take chances, clearly those things can happen in football.
It must have been hard coming off the pitch to the boos for you and the players. How difficult was that to hear?
Yeah, difficult because it's not performance, you can say. The lads, they gave everything. They played some good football. They created enough chances to win the game. You know, if we're not clinical in front of goal, that's another question. So it's disappointing. It's probably disappointment from everyone because, again, we want to win at home. We deserve to win in terms of the football side of it, and then you don't, so it's disappointment.
And I suppose extra frustration after all the progress you made during the World Cup break.
Yeah, because the performance, as I keep saying, was one that we can look at and go, yeah, Wolves are a good team. And Wolves, you know, a strong team and can bring on strong subs and all these things in the game. It didn't really hurt us too many times. I think they had one chance in the first half on top of the goal. We had 2 or 3 really good ones, and in the second half, good chances and really good moments of possession and ball and just sort of good transition and counter-attacks. We just got the last pass wrong. So it's just really disappointing that you get a sucker punch at the end.
You were in a relegation scrap last year, so what therefore needs to change to make sure that that doesn't happen again?
Well, we're in one, so we're in one, and that's just what it is, you know.
I think Lampard will be frustrated today. His team should have put the game to bed earlier on with their chances. His team were better on the ball and better at keeping the ball, but they couldn't get the result that they wanted. I think they just need to find their rhythm again, Everton, to start getting results. Some hard fixtures for them both, with Wolves hosting Manchester United and Everton going to the Etihad to play Manchester City. Over at St Mary's, it was Nathan Jones's first game in the Premier League, and it all went horribly wrong. Just 14 minutes in, Adam Lallana scored a header to make it 1-0. Then before half-time, Roman Perud, who didn't have the best of afternoons, scored an own goal. And it was the man of the match, Solly March, who scored one of the goals of the season, an absolute rocket into the top corner from outside the box. Ward-Prowse scored in the last half hour. In that time, the Seagulls had no shots, but had already sealed the victory. So, Brighton went 6th in the Premier League on Boxing Day, now 7th due to Liverpool's victory. It wasn't too easy for Brighton. They had 0.73 expected goals compared to the Saints' 2.11. Southampton need to work with their manager to get them out of the relegation zone, as they are now bottom of the table with only 12 points. Southampton travel to Craven Cottage to play 9th in the league Fulham, and Brighton host top of the league Arsenal. Southampton really need to show more quality against Fulham. In the early kick-off on Tuesday, Chelsea hosted Bournemouth. Goals from Mount Havertz gave the Blues a 2-0 victory. Graham Potter was with Amazon Prime Video after the game.
Then Graham Potter, thank you very much for joining us once again. That's more like it, isn't it? How did that feel watching it? What were the good things from that?
I thought we played some good attacking football at times, created some decent chances against a team that are doing well. They picked up points, so they came back as well in the second half. But overall, I thought we deserved the win.
Tell me about Kai Havertz. We've just been speaking about him there. He's becoming that number 9 for you, is he? Is he the one really that moving forward you would want to see in that role more?
Well, he gives us a different bit of variation from that role. He can drop in, but he can also threaten the back line, and then it keeps Raheem and Christian high as well, so gives us a bit of variability in terms of how we attack. So and it's nice that he pops up and scores. He's in a good place at the moment.
How pleased were you with Raheem Sterling's performance there as well?
Yeah, both him and CP, I thought, just kept. Sometimes you have to just keep the back line there, which opens up some space for us. When we attack, we did it quite well. We could have had a goal. We had I think a decent opportunity in the first half, so yeah, it's good. I think it was a step forward for us.
Can I ask for an update on Reece James? We saw him go down, and I guess a lot of Chelsea fans watching would have feared for the worst. He did walk off. Do you know much? Can you tell us much?
Not too much, no. We're going to have to see over the next 24, 48 hours, but yeah, disappointing to lose him as quickly as we did.
Yeah.
It was a must-win for Chelsea with their last results. They've got Forest next, with Bournemouth hosting Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace has had 4 home victories in a row at Selhurst Park before their game against Fulham. Goals from Reed, Ream and Mitrovic gave Fulham a 3-0 win. Crystal Palace made it easy for them, with James Tompkins and Tyrant Mitchell both getting sent off. Fulham finished it with 11 shots on target compared to Crystal Palace's 0. Frustration for Vieira as he suffers a second loss in a row, and Tim Ream scores his first Premier League goal on Boxing Day. Next, Fulham host Southampton and Palace travel to Bournemouth. Let's head over to the Championship then. 10-man Watford lost 2-0 to Millwall. They go 6th in the Championship. Sunderland won 2-0 against Blackburn, Tony Mowbray's side getting a late winner at the Stadium of Light. West Brom won 2-0 at Bristol. They are slowly marching up the table, now 14th. Middlesbrough doing the same, hammering Wigan 4-1 with a hat-trick from Chuba Apcom, taking him joint top of the Championship goal scorers, with Victor Gyökeres, who scored 1 on Boxing Day during Coventry's loss 3-1 to Sheffield United. Burnley are 3 points clear at the top of the table following their 3-0 win over Birmingham 2. Thank you for listening. You've been listening to the English Football Podcast. Tune in next time where we go through the next games in the Premier League. Thank you for listening. See you next time. Goodbye.